Hello my friends, this is Arash again. I would like to start by welcoming you in this first week of the MOOC. In the following videos, we will give you an overview of the electricity chain and the multiple challenges we face to decarbonize this essential part of energy demand. This video is about setting the scene and reminding you the importance of electricity in everyday life. Moreover, it will be one of the fastest growing final energy usages. In the decades to come, decarbonizing electricity will be a key step on the road towards a well blue 2-degree world. Since the first experiences of the Benjamin Franklin in the 18th century, through the invention of Michael Faraday or the work of Thomas Edison, electricity has taken up a larger part of our everyday life. It has now become an essential energy carrier, providing energy services such as lighting, heating, and refrigeration, or even information technologies. If we look at the current situation, 65% of electricity is produced from coal, natural gas, and oil. A quarter of global power generation comes from renewable sources, hydro first, then wind, biomass, solar, and geothermal power. Finally, nuclear accounts for 10% of electricity production today. Overall, electricity consumption only accounts for 1/5 of our final energy demand today. But over the last 25 years, global electricity consumption doubled, while primary energy demand increased by only 60%. This trend will probably continue in the future, driven by the surge in demand for motor systems, appliances, cooling, and information and communication technologies. So, why have coal and natural gas been dominating the power generation mix? Because in most cases, they have proven to be quite reliable, rather flexible, and economically competitive means of production. If you take a look at the graph next to me, showing recent data from the full life cycle cost for producing 1 megawatt hour of electricity, you can see that coal and natural gas were the least expensive fuel at the beginning of the study. Sure, the situation is evolving now as the cost of producing wind and solar power have decreased dramatically. But power plants that are built today generally have an operating lifetime of 20 up to 40 years. So the current mix will require a few decades to evolve. Moreover, because up to now electricity could not be stored easily in an economical manner, many countries have favored the flexibility of dispatchable means of generation, such as nuclear and fossil fuels, over variable resources such as wind and solar, for example. But generating electricity with coal, natural gas, or oil comes with one major drawback. Associated CO2 emissions is a major driver of greenhouse effect, trapping heat inside the atmosphere and causing severe climate change. So if electricity only represents 20% of our final energy consumption, it accounts for 40% of energy-related CO2 emissions. This share could keep growing in the future. Indeed, according to the International Energy Agency, over the next 25 years, China will bring online additional electricity production equivalent to the current United States market. Over the same period, India will also add the equivalent of the European Union's current electricity production. These countries still rely heavily on coal for producing electricity. 67% of the generation mix in China and also 76% in India. Expanding the power production with the same resources will make it impossible to maintain temperatures in line with the Paris Agreement objective. If we take a look in more detail, coal emits approximately 1 ton of CO2 equivalent per megawatt hour produced, roughly twice the amount emitted with natural gas. We hence have an urgent need to decarbonize our power generation mix either by shifting towards less carbon-intensive means of production, such as nuclear or renewables, or by adding carbon capture and storage technologies to carbon-emitting installations. The challenge is daunting. According to the IEA projections, only for OECD economies, the average CO2 intensity of electricity needs to fall from 411 grams per kilowatt hour in 2015 to 15 grams per kilowatt hour by 2050 to achieve the goal of limiting the global increase in the temperatures to 2 degrees Celsius. To sum up what we just talked about, Electricity is an essential energy carrier for many applications, but power is CO2 intensive. It represents 20% of our energy use, but it is responsible for 40% of CO2 emissions. Moreover, electricity consumption is expected to grow in the future. 1 billion people still lack access to modern energy today, and global electricity needs are growing. So it is essential to decarbonize the electricity mix to mitigate the risk of climate change. This task comes with many challenges, as we will discuss in the next videos. But before that, I will explain you the electricity chain and the various means of power generation. So bye for now, and see you very soon.